Good afternoon, everyone. This is Erica with Aurora Her Healing. Today, I am going to be performing a collective healing. So, anyone that listens to or watches this video, stumbles upon it, it's probably for you. And the energies, what we want to clear today, what we want to help support is having healthy levels of discernment because I am guilty of it. I'm sure a lot of people that have lived life have been guilty of letting people in that weren't as trustworthy, or maybe we wanted to be a very good person and it ended up biting us in the butt because we didn't really use our discernment, our intuition. It's being able to see some of those things that people might want to hide from us, or maybe they don't have our best interest at heart. And that's one of the biggest things that I've learned, that just because someone loves you does not mean that they have your best interest at heart. So if you're stumbling across a lot of people that don't have your best interest at heart, maybe there's some things that are blocking your discernment to be able to identify those types of people quickly and readily. Today, that is what we're going to be focusing on. So, hallelujah, right? Okay. And as always, I'm going to start by saying everything I'm going to go through and find pendulum through my pendulum. I did pull this book, Sacred Contacts by Carolyn Myss. I believe it's Myss. I have not read this book yet at all. And that's the first time I'm actually opening it. I just bought it off of World Books, and I figured this would be a perfect time to, well, Spirit said this is a perfect time to use it, so that's what I'm going to do today. All right. Remember, all of these emotions, energies are going to be in the description, so you can always reflect. Okay, it's time to begin. Are there any trapped energies or emotions to help support healthy discernment that we can release? Yes, I'm getting yes. Okay. Is it in the emotion code? Is it in the body code? Is it in the charts? Is it the references? Okay. Is it in the chakra system, 21 minor chakra system? Okay. So this is a character defense mechanism. Okay. Does this have to do with having weak boundaries? So this is having weak boundaries. Are there any emotions that go with this? Okay. Is it in the wheel of emotion? Brene Brown's emotions and experiences. Yes. It's in that first row, second row, when we're hurting with others, when we fall short. Is it shame, self-compassion, perfectionism? So the emotion here, the feeling is wanting to be perfect, feeling like you want to be perfect. So sometimes we can say, I'm going to give you a perfect example. I am a very, very active person. I ride bikes, I take hikes, I go on. I love to do things. And even in my work life, I love to get things out there, building community, networking, creating workshops, all the things. Well, over the last few weeks, I have been overextending myself, but I also struggle with wanting to be perfect, wanting to be able to do all of the things. Last night, I wasn't able to go to the gym because I was just exhausted. I had done so much during the day that by the end of the day, I was too tired to do anything and I felt sick. And I laid down at like 7:38 and I just let myself sleep. And in my mind, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, like I should have been up making dinner. I should have been up doing dishes, or I should have been up doing laundry and all these different things. But I'm not perfect and I don't have all the infinite energy of the world. So it's sometimes okay to just relax and chill. And it doesn't mean that I'm bad or wrong or anything like that. It just means that I need to set up a good, healthy boundary for myself. And it's interesting that this character defense it deals with weak boundaries. So, perfectionism, is there any other emotions that we need to look at today? Is there anything else in the reference page? Is there anything else we need? Is it from Sacred Contracts? Okay, so I'm going to be pulling up the book, Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Myss. It's in here. Is it in this section? Is it in this section? Is it in this section? Is it this page? This page, this page, this page, this page. It's in this page. This paragraph. This paragraph. Okay. We'll see what this means. Number 91 in a okay. So I'm just going to read what the book is telling me to read. I think it's really interesting that this is coming up. We'll see what happens. In a fascinating footnote to Luke 22:43 through 44, in the New Jerusalem Bible, long renowned for its scholarly accuracy, the editors state that some translations have omitted the verses referring to an anguish so great that Jesus' sweat resembled drops of blood. The reason indicated was primarily concern to avoid a humiliation of Jesus that seemed too human. So weird that it's coming up for after we were looking at perfectionism. The idea that Jesus could suffer the same kind of anguish as the rest of us at the presentiment presentiment of intense physical and psychological suffering was apparently too embarrassing for some New Testament translators to acknowledge. Yet the fact that Jesus suffered in that way and still was able to release his will to the necessity of his contract makes the passage all the more remarkable. With that passage, the real message, the underlying message that I am finding from that passage is that a lot of times we want to pretend like we're not suffering or we have not suffered, and we want to hide away from that. And we're not human in that time. We are human. We suffer. We do have different things that cause pain within us. And when we do not see how this hurts us, then we are blocking our discernment. We are saying your gut, the pain that you are feeling within yourself right now, we don't want to look at that because it's too human. Remember, we are human. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter how much we want to live out into the spiritual realm, We are physical bodies, and our physical bodies will tell us if something is in pain or in agony. And in that, let's remember that we are human and it's okay to feel. It shouldn't be embarrassing. It should be something that is accepted and understood, that we are all multifaceted beings and we all feel so differently, and that's okay. It's not embarrassing to feel. It's not an embarrassment to have our emotions or experiences. It's what we do with them moving forward that really counts. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to know about this weak boundaries? Is there anything that's hidden? Okay. Hidden emotion. Here. Is it in the wheel? Is it in the definitions? Is it in the Hoffman definitions? Here, here, blame. Hidden emotion of blame. Okay, I'm going to ask for some clarifiers. Are we blaming ourselves in this? Is someone else blaming or just feeling blame? To hold responsible, find fault with. Okay. When you blame something or someone else for the problems in your life, you become a passive victim of circumstances. You make it very difficult to do anything to change your situation. You become powerless to change anything. So blame. Is there any other hidden emotions? Is there anything else that we need to know about this? Okay, can we go ahead and release this now? Can we instill something? Okay, beautiful. All right. We're going to instill something within us. We're going to bring in something new within us, which I hope that each of you practice and do this affirmation multiple times a day, every day for a month, every day for a week, whatever that feels like to you that feels best. I'm going to find the phrase that needs to be instilled. I am human with human emotions. I am human with human emotions. I like that. I am human with human emotions. Okay, so now we're going to release. Okay. We do not want to have weak boundaries. We want to hold fast to our boundaries. We don't need to be perfect. There's no reason to be perfect. There is no perfection. That saying, being perfectly imperfect, people think that our emotions, the way that we feel, is an imperfection, but if actually it's actually something that is truly connecting us to not only ourselves but others as well, because then we can understand how we really want to relate to another person when we truly understand that we are human with human feelings. We're not going to be blaming anyone else for what we go through or allow other people to blame us either. That's not okay. No one has to blame us for the way that we feel or when we react in certain ways. We want to take responsibility over those things. We want to not feel blamed, but we also do not want to blame others as well. We want to take our power. It is powerful to say, this is how I'm showing up. Next, we're going to instill, and I just want you all to bring this thought process in your mind. I am human with human emotions. I am human with human emotions. We're bringing that into ourselves because we're accepting. We're human with human emotions. Our emotions are literally created within our body. So we were born with them. It's okay to feel them. I am human with human emotions. Okay. Is there anything else that we can clear? Perfect. Is this in my reference pages? Is it in the body code? Is it in the emotion code? Is it emotions? Do we need to hear a message? We need to hear another message. Is this from this book? This book? Okay, this is going to be from Abundant Ever After by Kathy Heller. This is a really great book that a friend of mine just gave me, which I have been loving it. This one I'm actually reading right now, so we'll see how this goes because I have not finished it. I am just, I think I'm on like page 20 or something. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? 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 This is so interesting because I actually did a reading with someone else, and this is exactly what came up for them. But also, while I was explaining that we don't have to be perfect, this is the message that I thought of, but I didn't say it out loud. So it's really interesting. I don't even remember the page. Now I'm going to have to. I feel like this is something that I have to remember now. Okay. So this, I'm going to read this to you, and then we're going to see how this all relates back into we are human with human emotions. My friend Deborah is a successful screenwriter, and she said something to me that I'll never forget. She said, "There's only one thing you have to do to make the audience hate a character, to stop rooting for them. Do you know what that is?" I don't know, I admitted. Make the character perfect. If the character is perfect, by the end of the first act, the audience will turn on that person. They will have no sympathy for them and likely no interest. Interesting, I said. So then, what makes a character lovable? Flaws. A character who messes up and can laugh at themselves or can keep going despite their imperfections will have the audience rooting for them all the way. Okay. Is there anything else that they need to know? Any other messages? Okay. Can we keep going? Gotta write that down so that I know exactly what we're going to be looking at next, or what I'm going to write in the description. Okay, so there's no more messages in here. Here, 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 here. Wounded child worldview. Wounded child worldview. Let's see what emotions come up for this one. And this one is just basically, it could be feeling like a wounded child and the worldview. I've seen some people, I don't know why I'm getting hopelessness. I'm getting strong emotions of hopelessness. Is this the emotion? Hopelessness? Wounded child worldview, hopelessness? Okay, so the emotion is hopelessness. So I'll just use that as my example. So if someone feels hopeless all the time and they feel that they can never move forward, they feel like, who knows, maybe they don't have the greatest esteem of themselves. When they have that wounded child worldview, they see the world as hopeless, everything around them, because a kiddo, they're small, they're little, they only can see so far. They can't, sometimes they can't even look over a cabinet. So when we're looking at hopeless, they're looking at things like, I will never be able to accomplish this, or I'll never be able to get to that. Able to, and that is super important. Hey, wounded child, hopelessness. Is there any other emotions that we need to look at? Is it in the emotions and experiences? Is it in the Hoffman? Is it in the definitions? Here, here, betrayal, blame, bitterness, compassion, conflict, confusion, hopelessness, and confusion. Confusion is disorder, upheaval, tumult, chaos, lack of distinctiveness or clearness, perplexity, bewilderment, disturbed mental state, or disorientation. Okay, is this another wounded child worldview? So not only are we a lot of people that are not able to discern healthily, feeling hopeless, but they're also feeling very confused. How can you make a clear decision if you are confused and muddled in your brain? My recommendation is journal. Write down what it is that you want in your life, what it is that you accept in your life. And then that way you would be readily more able to see, discern who fits that criteria and who does not, who wants to be part of the community or who wants to be oppositional. If you are having a disagreement with someone and you say, how can we fix this? And the other person says, I can't deal with this. This is too hard. This is too much. This is whatever their too is. Then that means they're not really truly growing with you and building. They're actually being more oppositional. And while we're looking at that, if we want to do something and the other person is being oppositional and we're trying to be reasonable, it might be confusing. Like, where did I go wrong? What did I do to create this reaction? But if that's the case, then you're already asking yourself something. You're already looking for clarification. And when you take the other person's opinion out, you understand a little bit more. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. And this is how I want to show up. Is there any other emotions to this? Can we go ahead and clear this energy now? Um, do we need to instill anything? My biggest journal, my biggest takeaway so far today, even just today, because I've had this come up a few times today, make sure you journal. Gain clarity of who you are and what you want in your life. If you are just walking around Earth and you don't know who you are, meaning you can name 5 positive qualities about yourself. And it's not about what you do, like I'm a great mechanic. No, I'm honest. I believe in my integrity. I value my morals, which means I don't like to do XYZ. All of those things, if you cannot name 5 off the top of your head of things that you are of value, not that what you do, I am an energy healer. That's what I do. I do this. I provide comfort, clarity, and security. That's who I am, what I provide into the world, who I show up as often as I possibly can. So just remember to journal because this will really truly help you um, gain a sense of who you are. You can't lead someone else if you haven't led yourself. Okay. Ooh, is there more? Have we cleared this wounded child worldview? Is it in the reference page? Is it a message? Okay. Is it in Abundant Ever After? Abundant Ever After? Is it in Sacred Contracts? Is it in this book, Seeds of the Soul? This book? The Inner Work? Angel Numbers? 772. Okay, we'll see what this says. So we're doing, this is from Angel Books from Kyle Gray. Angel, Angel Numbers from Kyle Gray. And the number is 772. Bring the whole of yourselves to your relationships. You need to be present and open at this time. Relationships are about giving and receiving, and your angels want you to be less distracted, confusion, and more present for the meaningful experiences of your life. So if we are looking for hopeless, hopeless says, I'm never going to be able to connect with anybody. Hopeless says, no one understands me. Hopeless says, everyone hurts me. Hopeless says, nothing is fixable. What's the opposite of that? Hope. Being present and open at the time. Giving and receiving, not being so fearful of creating experience in your life, because things that are broken can be fixed. And sometimes that's maybe what you need at that point. Creating those beautiful relationships that are about giving and receiving. The less confused you are within yourself, the more that you can call this in. Because it's not just about romantic relationships, it's about relationships as a whole, community. When we commune with others, one of the things that I personally love is I seek counsel. I am a firm believer in the fact that I don't know everything. I am imperfect because I only have a finite ability to know different subjects, right? So if I want to create relationship with myself or with anybody, how can I create relationships when I don't even know what I want in my life? You can't really truly build genuine connection when you don't know what makes you feel connected within yourself. It's a hard ask to find clarity through confusion and hopelessness. So if you're wanting to open up your life, you have to understand that there has to be a sense of clarity, because if you want to bring in those relationships that are giving and receiving, and you want to be less distracted and achieve more of what you want and have meaningful experiences in your life, then we're going to have to kick that hopelessness and confusion to the curb. Sorry, guys. It's all about letting go, right? Okay. Is there anything else that we need to know? Is there any messages? Is there any other emotions that we need to uncover? Okay. Is it a different kind of emotion? Oh, have I passed it? Is it here? Is it here? anguish, anguish, victim. That can definitely happen when we've been betrayed in romantic or relational relationships, and betrayal shows up in so many different ways. Is there anything else here? Here, here, here. Contempt, defensiveness, anguish, victim, defensiveness. Defensiveness, you need to know a little bit more about. Here, 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 here. Defense-oriented behavior helps us protect us from self-devaluation or emotional hurt and alleviates the tension and anxiety associated with frustration, conflict, and pressure. When the integrity or worth of the self is endangered, various defense mechanisms are brought into operation automatically. This is going to be the last portion of this healing. But what I am really truly getting is that with being defensive, we are starting off with a wall. And with that wall, you can't create healthy relationships. It's just impossible because how can you create healthy discernment? How can you see something clearly if there's already a wall blocking you? You can be 6'5" or whatever and see over the wall, but not everyone has that ability. And with defensiveness, it says, I cannot trust anybody or anything. Therefore, we cannot discern healthily through those eyes. If we feel no matter who it is, we're going to be attacked, then we are coming from an unsafe place. We can't cultivate when we are unsafe. We cannot healthily discern if a situation is safe or unsafe if we're already in fight or flight because we already feel like it's unsafe. So, anguish, feeling that pain, I get it. Anguish is exactly what it is. It crumples you. It feels overwhelming. It feels painful. Feeling like a victim when someone's betrayed us. It can cause us to want to be on the defense with everyone that's around us. And defensiveness is literally the defense of ourselves. But sometimes there's people out there that don't want to do anything bad to you, that don't want to hurt you, that they have your best interest at heart. And isn't that what we're looking for? To get ourselves out of that fight or flight mode, that defensive mode, that mode of pain that might be coming from solidarity, feeling like a victim because that person did that and that person did that and that person did that. We go back to the blame. Where can we take responsibility for how we showed up? Where can we say, this is not something that is going to happen again, but from a loving and kind place, not from a place of defense and fear? Because fear will keep us away from what we want, what we truly care for. And that, who wants that? Who wants to live a life longing for what they want and never truly stepping forward to get it? I know I don't. Is there anything else that we need to know about these emotions or energies? Can we go ahead and release this now? Let's let go of our defense. That anguish that we felt from a relationship ago, or two relationships ago, or friendships ago, or parents ago, whatever it is, you're not a victim. You have the power to empower yourself. I've made mistakes, and that does not mean I'm unlovable. I have had weak boundaries and suffered from perfectionism. I am human with human emotions. It's okay. The number one way to put people at guard with you is to show up as someone that's perfect and that's never been hurt before. When we are able to discern, we're able to kind of see who we can tell those deep, dark places to that won't hurt us for it. Remember that if you're looking for or wanting to move towards relationship, your angels are really saying you need to be present and open. Relationships about giving and receiving. Be less distracted. Be more present in your meaningful experiences, which means don't let the defensiveness distract you from who you are and what you want to portray in this world. And lastly, journal. Write down who you want to be. Who do you want to show up as today? If I wanted to show up as a homeless bum, I could. But unless I write it down and exactly know, clearing all that confusion of who I want to be and what I want to do, then I'll never really gain the clarity that I'm looking for. And how can you discern through storm? How can you really truly see what it is that you want your future to look like if you haven't even sat down with the deepest parts of you, your spirit, to tell you who you want to be? Mm. Okay, my friends, I hope that this helps today, that it helps you understand a little bit of why you may not be having such healthy discernment with yourself, but also with others. That maybe all of these different emotions that you feel inside are valid. What a radical concept to step out in the world and be who you are as you are, and not the most perfect version of yourself. I ate ice cream in bed yesterday. I didn't feel good. And I sat in my bed and I ate some ice cream and I listened to music and TikTok all day. Well, for a while. I was imperfect in that moment, but I still love her anyway. I felt that I needed a little bit of rest and reprieve. And that was my healthy discernment for me, myself. So don't be perfect today. I challenge you to not be perfect today. I challenge you to write about yourself and see what you like, your 5 attributes of who you are and what you like to bring to the table. You're worth it. Happy discerning, my friends. Have a wonderful day.